mentioned I won't delve into the statistics that have been done by the chairman. But I'm not here to speak about what has brought us here so far, but to share my reflections on the topic, as well as to propose what we can do, not only as members of the association and as executives, but more importantly, as citizens of Nigeria, because we all have a stake in the prosperity of this nation, the survival of the nation, and the well-being of everyone that lives in Nigeria. So when we speak about sound governance, indeed, I must also thank the President, because in her opening remarks, she defined governance as well as corporate governance. But simply put, it is just the process of making and enforcing decisions within an organization or society. What is the process for making and enforcing decisions within an organization or society? That's governance. But when we talk about sound governance, it's not only about this process of making and implementing decisions, but it is about doing so in a way that is effective and efficient. In business, we talk about sound corporate governance, and as Ese told me, that's something that's been hammered, across. But in public service, I like the definition I found in lawinsider.com that defines the meaning of sound governance as the transparent use of governance to create an impartial, efficient, and responsible public administration in compliance with the principles of legality and the democratic rule of law. When I found this, I think that this definition was created for us in Nigeria to learn something from. Because it says it is a transparent use of governance to create an impartial, efficient, and responsible public administration in compliance with the principles of legality and the democratic rule of law. So from that definition, we can see that sound governance, it encompasses a myriad of elements: transparency and accountability, effectiveness, rule of law. All of this are what set the stage for an environment in which not only businesses, but individuals thrive and society progresses. Because if we have a society in which businesses thrive, but at the expense of individuals and citizens there, then we do not have an inclusive nation, and also individuals cannot flourish and fully express their humanity in a way that distinguishes us from lesser mammals. And I speak about humanity because I think that that is something that increasingly it appears that we have become inured by the happenings around us, and we may be losing our humanity. I don't know whether you've ever come across someone being lynched or being burnt. I have. And I wondered, the people doing this, can they, do they realize this is a human being? But of course, we justify it. He's a thief. They are the ones that kill people. They're this. Where is our humanity? When people create all these scams and schemes to defraud people who have worked hard for their money, where is our humanity? But then let's not even go as far as that. All of us say, well, we never participated in a lynching or a mobbing, neither have we done 419 or Yahoo. But even then, in the way we treat the people around us, and in the way we care for the people. So when I think about governance, and when I think about a society progressing, I think it is not only about economic development and businesses flourishing, but also about individuals flourishing. So how do we begin? And I like the fact that the chairman in his opening remarks had said, well, let's leave here with a couple of thoughts as to what it is that we can do. Of course, with recommendations for what we can do, not only for the association, but also with what we can do as individuals. For me, the beginning is by building a value-based culture. I have long advocated for a value-based education. And when I talk about value-based education, one of my favorite quotes that I reference, anytime I speak about this topic, is by Theodore Roosevelt, one-time president of America. And he said, if you educate a man in knowledge, but not in values, you have just created a menace to society. Think about it. Because if we give the knowledge, but we don't give the values, that knowledge will not be used responsibly. And what we have done is that we've just created sophisticated criminals. And if we look around us, we see that that is pervasive. But then, that's about education. How do we create a value-based culture? Because it is a culture of the people that shapes organizational and individual practices and behavior. And I want us to reflect for a moment. What is the prevailing culture in Nigeria today? What are the values that are extolled? What are the values that are respected? And what are the values that are appreciated?